I mean, you talk about World Cups. I mean, you've seen them all, isn't it? I mean, 1983 World Cup. You would have loved that moment. Mahendra Singh Dhoni winning the T20 World Cup, and then, of course, that epic moment of Sachin being carried on the shoulders there after that 2011 World Cup. Give us a sense of, because you were at different stages of your life and of your career and stuff. Give us a sense of those fan moments. 83, then, of course, in Johannesburg, then 2011, mate.
83 with Dad. I was working with Dad, and I was running his restaurants, and I was running a bar. And I still remember that night was a big night because the bar night, and you expected a lot of business and crowd, and that's the way it was. I was at the restaurant at Opera House, and it was buzzing with activity. And we were watching the game, and then the game slipped out of our hand, and then that catch brought it back, and then suddenly you ended up winning. And nor me, nor my dad was ready for it. My dad was sitting there, he was having a drink with a friend of his, and I think he was the first one who smashed that glass on the counter. And within a second, the entire restaurant had done that. And suddenly you realize Dad, being Dad, saying, we're not going to charge anybody, it's on the house.
Oh, wow.
So what was supposed to be a big day for business ended up being no business, but the business of the heart. And the streets of Mumbai, the streets when I got back from the restaurant, holy cow. There was no place to walk, cars, the Indian flag. For the first time, we felt that we had won something really big. So I think the biggest high that I saw as a kid was probably in 83, when I was a young man, when I saw this and said, wow, these are the moments that sporting nations wait for and countries wait for to unite. So I think it was a big, 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 big moment. Then for me, what was another beautiful moment was 2003 Africa. And I was an actor, a full-fledged actor, but I got an opportunity from a television network, and wanted to know whether I'd like to anchor and have my own show.
Oh, okay.
So 2003, so I think Sony was the network that was airing it, but I did it for ESPN or one of the networks, and I remember those 4 to 6 weeks with my son and the entire journey of being there. My son was 6 years old, and me and him, and traveling all through Joburg and these places, watching the game in the day, and then going into the studio and talking about it. I think another big high for me, because I did that entire journey with my son, and we went to every game. He, as a 6-year-old, realized the strength of audience and adulation and love and respect, and didn't realize that I'm too hardcore an Indian. I ended up fighting with certain people in the stadium.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and was picked up, but fortunately the police in charge was a South African Indian woman, so she recognized, let go of me, and caught the people who were supposed to be caught, because the fight had broken out, and when she picked up, then you don't know who it is, so you take all parties in. But then she realized what is what and did that. So, phenomenal moments. Another very beautiful moment that I need to mention is Joba, 6-year-old son, sees this tall, I don't want to name him, but West Indian cricketer who had the habit of doing this all the time. He was walking into the lift. My son said, cricketer, West Indian. So I said, go. He says, can I take an autograph? I said, yeah, go. He took his book, went there. That guy turned, and when he asked for autograph, he put his hand on the child's chest and pushed him back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and pushed him back and said no. And this child comes crying to me, and I was in a state of shock because I saw that myself. I said, what happened? He says, Papa, he pushed me. And why did he do that? So I said, no, baby, maybe frame of mind, he must be unhappy with something and things like that. And the next thing you know is, he tells me that you're an actor, everybody comes to you, but you never say no to anybody. So I said, different kind of people. That's why Papa's Papa and he's he probably. I go up to the lounge and I have half the West Indian team there, a lot of them Indians there, come up to me and say, hey, Suniel Shetty, we want to talk to your big fans. We want you to talk to my wife, to my mother. So Sunil was there and everybody was there. So they connected me and I spoke. But I said, one thing that hurt me very much, why did this guy behave like that? So you had them call him and reprimand him for what he had done. And he said, probably you are big, but he's as big as you as he is in India. And I said, the cricketer says, I just made my mother speak to him because they're big fans of his. Then you realize the Pakistani team came in, the Indian team came in, and that became the topic of discussion in the lounge. Why would you do something like this? Yeah. Suddenly one man realizing that behavior of mine, believing I am God, is something that has changed everything for him that day. Because everybody kept asking, are you stupid? He's a 6-year-old child. Yeah. So these certain qualities that are very strong, that also reminds me as to how I should behave in my life whenever going forward. How do you treat fans? How do you treat kids? How do you treat seniors? Very, very important for anybody who God's been kind to and blessed with popularity. It's something I would say. I mean, if you called me and I said yes to it, it's not because of anything else, but because I know your passion for cricket. I know how you conduct yourself. One does that check naturally. If it was somebody, I've had hundreds of people calling me and saying, let's do this, let's talk wellness, fitness, health. I say a lot of people are talking about it, but let's not get into it. Keep me away from it. But people I believe in, it doesn't take me a second, because it doesn't take 5 days to get back to someone about anything, because you're always on your phone. You're always checking your phone. So don't tell me that you're not seeing messages. Maybe if it's New Year, then there are a million messages that you might miss a few. Otherwise, nobody's that busy or popular to have 1,000 messages and be skipping messages every day.
I'll be very honest, Anna. I don't think they make too many people like you anymore. To be very honest.